Warning! The following program is rated IMG SM. It is intended for the spiritually mature audience. This program may contain potentially sensitive content, uncomfortable dialogue, blunt honesty. It is the views and opinion of the host and co-host. Viewer discretion is advised.
The topic tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is called Church Hurt. Church hurts. Broken faith. Broken faith. So you got a lot of folks that because of the church and the wickedness and the stuff that's happening in the church, their faith is broken. Sister Chin, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
You here? What first and foremost, pastor, disciple, what is faith? As I take a sip of Eagle Eye Solutions Network.
What's the question? What is faith?
What is faith, my brother? What is faith?
Well, I mean, faith is basically one's belief. Faith is, as the Bible would say, is the substance of things hoped for. That's your hope, right? The evidence of things not seen. So it's something that you don't really see, but you believe.
That's what I got for it too. I got faith is strong, unshakable belief in something without proof or evidence.
Something without proof or evidence. You just know it in your hearts of hearts that this is the way. This is it. You got that strong urge, that strong feeling. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not upon your own understanding.
In all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your path.
Yes. I love. All right. I should have buy a Honda. All right. So, on a real serious tip, there's a reason why I brought this topic across tonight. And the reason being, let me just get straight to it. There's a brother, deacon in this particular church. Have his house, have his family. Everyone has been going to church for more than 20 plus years. He's a deacon, so he's respected in the church for them to give him the role of a deacon. And his house burnt down. He has a storefront on the bottom where he has his business, and he lives upstairs with his family. The store burnt down, the house burnt down. He had to move his family out. Now, the insurance company is going to pay for the damages, but of course, we all know insurance takes a little while. They have to do investigations, and they have to come up with a settlement and so forth. Brother went to the church and went, and called for a meeting and said, "Listen, I have my kids, I have my wife. We're sleeping on the couch and on the floor of another church member. I would like, that's not manly. That's not, I don't feel like right. I don't feel like a man doing this. Please, I need a loan to get my family into an apartment. And when the insurance company pays out, I will give you the money back." Came with a big blueprint, everything all written out and everything. The pastor of the church got all the deacons and the deaconettes and everybody. They all gathered around, and they all laid hands and they prayed. And when they were done praying, they say, "Okay, brother, we leave it into the hands of God." And the man turned and he's like, "Wait, but what about the loan? What about the money?" "Oh, we don't do that. We don't do that here." The brother was broken, no longer wanted to serve God, no longer believe in God because he's like, how can God allow something like this to happen? He has been paying, you know, his 10% into the church over 20 plus years. And like I said, the man have a storefront. He works, his wife works, so their tithes is not like a little $20 every week. His tithes is in the hundreds, sometime in the thousands on a weekly basis. And here it is, he wants just to get his family off of the floor of somebody else or off of the couch. And the church just prayed and sent him on his way. He not only walked out of that church, he was walking away from God. And the reason why I say I have first or second hand information is because God put me in the position where I was able to catch him and be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. The wickedness of your church has nothing to do with your faith in God. And I have to try to rebuild him and do what was in me to lift him up. Yeah. What say you guys? Let me throw it to Disciple first because I know he's in and out. Brother Disciple, what you have to say?
Well, see, here's the thing, right? I mean, everybody look at situation different, but for me, I don't know why people see it as church hurt, right? We might want to label it as church hurt and all of that, right? But God allow us to go through certain situations to open up our eyes to certain things, right? So that way, we shouldn't lose faith in God. I mean, this is where sometimes we put our trust and our faith and our belief too much in the church rather than putting it in God, right? And when we say church now, I mean the body of Christ is not the building, but the body of Christ, the people that you're among, the people that you're dealing with, the pastors, the deacons, the elders, these folks, do you really know them? Do you know them that well? God give us wisdom, and we ought to use our wisdom wisely when it comes to certain things. Yes, I'm gonna pay my tithes and whatever, if that's what you believe in, and you pay your tithes or whatever. But what about you? What are you setting up for you? What do you have in place to take care of you? Because these are things that are expected. We already know we dealing with men. And when it comes to these things, man, this is why people needs to research. If you're gonna be fellowshipping with a church or whatever, do your research. Know what's going on in there. Question the pastor. Me, I question my pastor anytime I question him. All right, be straight up. You understand? All right. So these are things that we got to be careful. As individuals when we go into church. And know what you're doing. Don't just put your trust in man. When you go to church, you worship God. Yes, the fellowship is nice. You get an encouragement within each other. But when you step out building, you still on your own.
That's right. Know that the church God is within each and every one of us. He's not in the building itself. He's in us. He says, forsake not the holy assembly. So we all righteous brothers supposed to come together with other righteous brothers, and there's unity comes strength. But when you're in a situation, and like you said, you have not researched, you have not done your due diligence, to make sure of the people you are fellowshipping with, then you are putting yourself in a situation that eventually is going to come out with the result that came from this one. Sister Chin, what you have to say?
Well, for me, I believe that negative experiences will bring about broken faith. It's always literally a negative experience. What I find, for me, to tell you the honest truth, I prefer smaller churches that you can have some type of intimate relationship with your pastor, even though he was a deacon, but it's a big church. Most of the time, it's not even about you being on that, the board or being a deacon or being a person, they just fill in spots.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you're just a number. You
Right.
should be able, how personal were the pastor and this fella. And another thing, I don't understand why nobody else from the church, if all the deacons and deaconesses
No
got
one else
together
stepped up.
with the pastor and they prayed and they knew this fella's situation, nobody said, okay, we need to try to help. Not even to say, okay, let's take up a collection if they couldn't give him a check, if that's what they don't do.
Mm.
If the pastor was in that situation, wouldn't we take up a collection?
Mm-hmm.
If something happened to the pastor, if something happened and somebody was sick, students sometimes they take up a collection if they want to give out like some type of tuition or like book fees for, they couldn't take a collection for the fella. I just find that so hard to believe, and that would cause me to be church hurt, because especially when you giving and you constantly giving, right? And it's not about the money, it's about the inconsideration.
Yeah, man. I mean, if you ever see a grown man
Here,
cry,
but here is something. Here's something else too, right, Patrick? And a lot of people don't know this and don't understand this, right? As a tithe-paying member of that church, and based on the amount of tithe and stuff that he pay, he can bring them up under charges. He can file a lawsuit against them. He can take
I do.
legal action.
uh-huh.
This is why I do not like church boards, right? Because here's the thing is, the pastor might said, you know what, brother, I'm going to help you. But when it comes to the board is going to say no, because I tell you this, sometimes it's not even the pastor to blame, but it's just that these individuals, and they forgot.
And that's the problem. Nobody thinks about their day, because at some point we all go through something and need support.
Indeed.
And it don't have to just be financial. It's just that you're going to need support at some time. And people in church need to learn not to look down on others, especially in their time of need.
Indeed. With that statement you brought about bringing up charges, at the end of the year, the church is mandated to give everyone a 1099 for the tithes that they paid into the church.
Yes, they do.
And if tithes, your tithes, the surplus of the tithes is not to buy the Benz or the plane. It's supposed to go to, put the kids through college, to go to help Sister Mary who lost her job and can't pay her rent. Let's wrap on that.